Welcome back to week number 4, the final week of hashtag Forzathon, and we have another Renault. No, seriously, why are there so many a series known as Forzathon? This is the Renault Clio R.S, not to be confused with last week's Clio Concept R.S. They are very, very similar, apparently. But we've got 198 horsepower, we've got 159 foot-pounds of torque, and this thing weighs 2,654 pounds with a 2-litre engine. And it looks not terrible, I guess? I don't know. It sounds cool and idle though. So going to the inside, it looks like your average Renault, again with another case of the I only have one yellow dial, look at me. And now let's go ahead and take a listen to that 2-litre. So here we are now over at the upgrade shop. Let's go straight to conversion and see what we have. We have got the option for engine swaps of just one, and I've got a feeling this is going to be the 1.6 litre inline-4 turbo rally. Oh, here we go again. The perk of this thing is you can, of course, at least put in either a turbo or a supercharger. So we don't even start out on street tyres. So the next one up, then we go up to sports and finally up to semi-slicks, which I think we're going to end up using, because we're going to go ahead and make this thing yet another A-class race build, and hopefully it might be a little bit quicker than last week's Renault. So for aero and appearance, we have terrible Forza splitter at the front, and at the back we have got IKEA table wing. It's making a return, and actually, I don't know, it doesn't look too out of place on this thing, but it still doesn't look great. Okay, how low can this thing go? Not very. That's actually kind of disappointing. So now going over to paint, we have got nothing advanced this week, which is kind of a bit disappointing, and we actually have a fair few manufacturer colours. Okay, one breath, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different manufacturer colours for this thing, and all done in one breath, which I'm very proud of. But I think, because it matches the interior, we're going to go with you. Now, if this is the car I think it was, and you can feel free to fact check me on this one, I believe this one used to have its own Forza edition back in Forza Horizon 4. And away we go, we are front-wheel drive with 400 brake horsepower on full slick tyres. What could go wrong? Apart from everything. Okay, first corner, let's see what can we do. We're in the back of the Mini, which is not too brilliant, because I don't think the Mini wanted a backseat passenger. But let's go ahead and see if we can try and pass the Fiesta. I really hope we can, because 400 horsepower, we are no aero. They have aero to slow them down, but also help them turn, which is not good. Don't push me out of the checkpoint. Come on, there's another space, and there's another space, and there's another space. Brake! Oh, we've clattered a Mini. It's a bit like a summer's day drive now, really. So I completely stuffed up commentary towards the end of that, but as you can see here, Descenso Dorado Sprint, we have made it out in first place, somehow. How is beyond me. Well, that was a good little bit of racing by the Clio, and terrible job of being a YouTuber by me, but we're going to go ahead and make this thing now all-wheel drive, because we're going to try and make this thing a drag build. So we're going to have to toss in the Turbo Rally, which goes against everything I've usually done, because usually I try to stay away from that engine, but this week we've just had no choice. But let's go ahead, build this thing up to be a drag car, and go and see what it can do. Okay, wheelie check. Oh, whoa! Whoa, we actually got one. We got one, we got a live one. Well, I guess now I got my title. Anyway, let's go ahead and give this thing a little bit of a blast down the drag strip. What can it do? I'm hoping it'll probably at least reach 200 and something, or... Actually, no, that's a bit too ambitious. Maybe 170 like the previous one did. Let's see if we can get there. Hopefully we can, because we're quite close. And 169. We were 1 mile an hour away. But this thing can do something that our other cars didn't, which is, it's not the greatest wheelie, but it's enough to say it can. Okay, back to semi-slicks we go, and back to road suspension or brace springs and dampers. Okay, so now here we are with the Renault. Let's go ahead and find this thing's top speed. Away we go. First up, speed zone. Okay, where is the edge of the speed zone? There it is, 207.74. Not too bad, but a little slower than last week. So let's go ahead and see what it can do through our speed camera and the downhill. Where's our speed camera? Our speed camera's up here somewhere. That's the one, 212.8. Let's go ahead and try and see if we can get 215 out of this thing, or maybe at 217, potentially. There we go, 217, which I think either matched or beaten last week's Renault Clio in terms of straight line speed. But in terms of everything else, it's been a little bit on the not so good side, shall we say. So here we are now going up to our drift zones. Let's go ahead, chuck this thing sideways and hope we can break the 30,000 points barrier, because we've got a very nice slide going on at the moment, but not enough angle for us to get what we need. But there we go. Somehow we've managed to get 38,335 points. It's actually really good from such a tiny car. Perhaps it's trying to redeem itself what it did earlier in this video of doing good in the racing, but not so brilliant on the drag trip and top speed. Well, let's go ahead and give this thing another go with round number 2. Going back the other way, can we match or even beat 38,000? No, but we can get a lot of sideways. Maybe too much, yep, too much sideways in the tyres. So going back for another attempt at that, hopefully not ending up in the tyre bundle this time. Let's try and see if we can go for 30,000 points, or at least close as we can. There we go, 37,000. Just around 1,200 and something points off from what we just did on round number 1. That's actually pretty good. So overall, it's actually a pretty good car, honestly, but is it worth getting? Well, maybe. It might be good when it comes down to A-class racing. I reckon it will probably be a very good contender for online. But other than that, I really don't quite know. It's okay, but it's not as much as we've had previously. But it's still better than the MG3. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. Tech out. Bye. This was fun, but it's next week's cars I'm really looking forward to.